The 2013 rally season starts at Otago. For 20 years, this rally has been the mainstay of the New Zealand Championship. Now, it launches a new look. New cars, more drivers, more rallies. This is the new era of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship. And this is Rally Nation. It's a new era in rally sport, and the Drive South Rally Otago opens the season in 2013. A traditional rally show and start in the famous Octagon. A combination of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Championship cars and a field for the Otago International Classic Rally. Defending champion Richard Mason returns with his Group N Subaru.
Like, we're still running a Group N car for us. A lot of them have gone for an R4 specification, which is like a lighter version of Group N. And then we're allowed some engine modifications this year as well, with a bigger restrictor and the likes.
But taking a radical approach to the new open rules, 2011 World Production Champion Hayden Padden put his Evo 9 Mitsubishi on a diet.
Well, initially we weren't really rebuilding it for anything in the NZRC, we were just rebuilding it just to have our car back again, but it's worked out alright. Obviously the rules are very relaxed now, and so basically we've just put a bigger turbo restrictor on it. We've done nothing else mechanically, but we've really concentrated on making the car light and improved geometry. So much like the Super 2000 car that we drove last year, they weren't very powerful, but they handled very well. So similar sort of thinking with this car.
Rally Out NZ have taken a similar approach with Chris West's newer Evo 10.
Rules have changed quite significantly, and of course with that everyone's gone in different ways of changing their cars and perhaps going down different paths, and then you take into account what Emma and Andrew are doing with new cars as well. I think it's just a matter of wait and see what happens and unfolds, especially this weekend at Otago.
2 new FIA Class Fiestas break cover, and of course being Dunedin, there is plenty of renewed interest in the New Zealand Historic class. The changes to the championship have been driven by Rally New Zealand Chairman Peter Johnson, who was on hand to see the successful launch of the new era.
We had a record lot of entries received, and look at the wonderful lineup of cars we've got here tonight, and the wonderful crowd, and everyone's pretty excited to see these super rally cars that are on steroids basically, how they're going to perform tomorrow morning. I think it's just something different that they, it gives them a bit more horsepower, and also probably it'll make the car far more spectacular to watch for the spectators. I think the whole package will work.
A new initiative for 2013, the top 5 drivers will draw for their start road position. Richard Mason first up, choosing position 4.
All right, here we go. He's made the decision. Richard Mason, reigning New Zealand Rally Champ, will run.
In the end, it was Alex Kelsey who drew the duty of stage opener. Richard and Sarah Mason, though, the first over the line at the ceremonial start, with the first stage to be held on Saturday morning. Let's check out the stages with our BNT stage preview.
Special Stage 1, Silver Peaks North. It's a great forestry stage to start the rally. 20 k's in length, a little bit twisty in the middle, a little bit open at each end. Special Stage 2, Ritchie Road, is a public stage only used last year for the first time. It's run in reverse this year, and it'll be downhill at the finish.
So cool autumn conditions in Otago. Not much rain in this area like most of New Zealand, so dust could be an issue. First on the road, Alex Kelsey. This is his 2012 Subaru. Co-driver this year, Jason Farmer.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Alex is building an exciting new Peugeot for the next round, but for now, concentrating on starting his season strongly.
Plus. And 4 right minus. Whoa, whoa, whoa! It's got something wrong. Is it? Yeah, it's been pulling funny. We're okay. The brakes didn't work, didn't they? Nah.
Oh, it's really lucky actually. Just sat on its side, which was really weird. It just went from the middle of the straight, really, just darted off straight to the right, and I thought there was something wrong with the brakes, and we've just found it now. One of the seals has leaked right over the left disc and pad and everything, so hopefully that's what it is.
So a dramatic rally start for Alex Kelsey. Not what Chris West would want, as he'll now be first on the road. This car has the R4 upgrade, so lighter windows, a new subframe and suspension arms, all aimed at making these cars faster and stronger. And if you're going to send it off the road like Alex Kelsey, that's a good thing. Also in the new rules, the turbo restrictor has increased from 33 to 36 mil, so that means more power.
Minus 50. 4 right plus.
Well, looks like West has brake issues. The front disc's glowing hot, and that's going to cost him time, as there are 2 stages before the first service.
And 4 right minus.
A scare also for Hayden Padden. His car had a fuel pressure problem at the rally start, and Hayden and co-driver John Kennard had to spend time trying to rectify it on the way to the first stage.
Cross crest in the 7 right tightens, straightens in the 7 left, brake 83 right.
So still a question over the pace of this car. If the fuel pressure is low, he'll be restricted on power.
Hug 6 right plus, brake 52 left plus late.
So problems for the first 3 starters on Rally Otago. Richard Mason could get a break here if he has a clean run. And that's exactly what he does. Here, fastest on the stage by 16 seconds so far. Andrew Hawkswood's Audi Quattro, a New Zealand-built special, but under the new rules, now eligible in the Super Rally class. No lack of power, but he's 30 seconds slower than Mason. Matt Jansen with a lot of upgrades to his Impreza. New 2013 front bumper, engine upgrades, and it's been on a diet. Oh, a big over-rev on the start line. The engine could be damaged.
4 right minus, don't. And 3 left plus. 30, 3 left. 60.
God, you're kidding me.
4 right over small crest. 150. Keep left on crest. What's wrong?
Motor's gone.
And problems on the start line for another Canterbury Subaru driver, Matt Summerfield.
Just before we went to go, all the lights went out in the start lights, and then when they came back on, I think it was 58 seconds, the orange lights and the green light didn't go anyway, and then we were still on our time, so I thought we had to go, and then Nicole told us to turn around and come back, and then they tried to send us away with 5 seconds after we backed up.
That confusion costing Summerfield, who was 45 seconds off the pace through the stage. Rhys Gardner joins the New Zealand Championship in 2013, but the Catlins Rally winner not yet matching the top times here. Ben Hunt has bought Emma Gilmore's Subaru and moves up from his Fiesta 2-wheel drive car. This car is still in Group N trim, so a great result here on the first stage. Hunt is 3rd fastest. Matt Van Tuinen returns from Australia, also keeping to Group N spec in his older Subaru. 7th fastest on the opening stage. A good start for the S2000 car of Dave Strong. This car underpowered now compared to the other competitors, but Strong is 4th equal through the stage with Chris West.
Right plus tightens 4, opens 100.
Championship sponsor Brian Green returns full-time to this series in 2013. His Evo 10 with similar upgrades to the other Team Rally Art car of Chris West. Dave Thexton has installed a new sequential gearbox in the ex-Richard Mason Championship winning car. But technical problems early in the stage see him retire for the day and head back to the workshop. So, after stage 1, Mason with a lead of 15.8 seconds over Padden. Ben Hunt 3rd, but just 1.3 seconds between him and 6th place Hawkswood. Dean Buist was the early leader in the revived historic class in his Ford Escort RS 1800. Actually, 8th fastest through the stage. And the modern equivalent, the 2-litre Fiesta R2 of Josh Marsden, leading the Fiestas in 9th, but just 0.8 ahead of Phil Campbell. Marsden's car was tested at the 2012 Silver Fern Rally, but this is the debut rally for Campbell. Stage 2, Ritchie Road. Just a 7k sprint on a public road through farmland, and plenty of fans on hand to watch.
3 left.
Hayden Padden tried to fix his fuel pressure problems between stages, wanting to make up that time lost to Richard Mason. Let's see what he can manage over such a short stage. Down to the line, and his time, 3 minutes 41.3. That was 6.8 seconds faster than Richard Mason, so Padden has halved the deficit to his championship rival. Again, Ben Hunt showing he is a force to be reckoned with, just 3 seconds back from Mason, third overall in the Group N Subaru. Andrew Hawkswood just 1.7 seconds slower in his Quattro, which looks to be a handful. But continuing brake issues for West, his brakes had caught fire at the end of stage 1.
To 6 left minus.
His time to the line, 3 minutes 53.9, so loses 12.6 to Padden. Matt Van Turingen overtook Dave Strong to move up to 6th overall. So after 2 stages, Mason's lead now down to 9 seconds. Hunt remains 3rd, but Hawkswood moves past West to 4th. Dave Strong drops to 7th, Buist still 8th ahead of Phil Campbell, and it's very close at this stage throughout the top 12. A service now before the next 3 stages and plenty of work for the Rally Hour team.
Unfortunately, the brake caliper has come loose on the right front, and of course, with the heat, the caliper's caught fire and just damaged the pads. So, I mean, we had a chance before the short stage 2 to fix it, and we've done so, but temporary repairs until to back at service.
Yeah, just a fuel pickup problem this morning, unfortunately. So it's we got it fixed before the start of the first stage, but then only 2 k's in, come back again. So we're getting it all fixed properly up now, and not the ideal way to start, but at least we're here anyway.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with the start order. We've actually got a little bit of understeer on the car, which I've got to work on. So when we came to the second stage, we noticed it on the looser gravel that there's still a little bit of work to be done.
Coming up, over 65 k's of special stage to challenge the drivers, including the iconic Danzi's Pass.
Stage 3 Danzi's Pass. It's one of the classics that have been in Otago for years. Not always used every year, but it's a real ripper and one we're really looking forward to.
Yes, it's a road that dates back to the pioneer era of the 19th century. And Chris West first on the road. Plenty of loose gravel for him to sweep, but he's still got brake issues with the car.
Opens to 5
and then a technical glitch in the rally safe system stops him in the stage.
And 5 left minus. Right crest, gravel, 30.
The proximity alarm has sounded, indicating that the next car, Hayden Padden, has caught him up. West pulls over. But it's a false alarm, Chris double-checking the box in the centre console there, and then sets off again. Hayden Padden has full power again, but it's clear he is nowhere near West through this stage. But he's setting a blistering pace in his Evo 9. Remember that this car is now lighter by 200 kilograms. That's allowed the team to run a softer suspension with more travel.
Now, K right tightens back 6 minus, 50.
Let's check out the stage time. West did 19 minutes 43 through here. That's his dust ahead at the finish. 18 minutes 52.1. So that's enough to challenge Richard Mason's lead. Well, bad luck intervening for Mason. Just a couple of Ks into the stage and looks like he's hit something. And that shot confirms it, a left rear puncture. Richard choosing to drive on through the 28-kilometre stage. His time loss in the end was 1 minute 27. Less than the time to stop to change the tyre, so making the best of a bad situation. Third fastest through the stage for Andrew Hawkswood, but it would be his last, a stone in the cam belt damaging the engine. Another strong performance from Ben Hunt, second fastest and moving into second overall. He's showing the benefit of his two-wheel drive apprenticeship since winning the Rally New Zealand Scholarship in 2010. Matt Van Turingen, meanwhile, in his own battle with Matt Summerfield. While the two Subarus are the same model, the Aussie's car is still Group N as he will contest the FIA Pacific Cup later in the year. Summerfield's 3 seconds faster on the stage, but still trailed by 8.5 seconds overall. Though faster on the tight corners, Dave Strong's Fiesta lacked the power on the long straights. He was now down to 9th. Reece Gardner climbing back after stage 2 with the 4th fastest time here. And Brian Green also improving as he gets used to considerably more power in his Ralliart Evo 10.
Stage 4, Victoria Hill, 25 k's of a roller coaster road. You're really going to have to be on your pace notes on this one.
Big crowds out on the stages at Otago. Chris West having to do sweeping duties out front, which is definitely costing him time.
80. Small crest and 3 left, 120.
But here on board with Padden, look at those rocks that West has pulled out of the road. They're possible punctures for the unlucky. Padden, 12 minutes 54 here. That's 27 seconds faster than West. Richard Mason on a charge to make up for lost time. He was 5th at the start of the stage. And 2nd fastest here, but still losing time to Padden. Josh Marsden has taken the lead in the Fiesta class, just a couple of seconds ahead of Phil Campbell.
Stage 5, Bobbin Creek. After 50 odd k's of special stages so far, tyres are going to be already worn out. We used this road in 2010 and it's another classic roller coaster Otago road.
This year, the competitors have to manage 10 tyres per day, but the tyre wear has been light on the stages so far. This roller coaster road allowing Hayden Padden to stretch the legs of his powerful Evo 9. He was through the stage in 12 minutes 4 seconds. Richard Mason trying hard to stay in touch, but he's kept his car close to Group N spec, and the extra weight is penalising his performance. Mason's 2nd fastest, but 17 seconds slower. For the last 3 seasons, Ben Hunt has driven a Fiesta with 117 kilowatts at the front wheels. Now he has quickly adapted to 220 kilowatts, driving all 4 wheels in the Subaru. But finding the flat-out pace on the stage was a bit daunting. He was 31 seconds slower than Mason and moves back to 3rd. But Chris West out for the day at the end of the stage. The front differential broke, leaving the Ralliart team with long hours ahead of them to get the car back for Sunday. Matt Summerfield overtook Matt Van Tuinen, here to take 5th overall. Dean Buist clearly in the lead of Historic after Marcus Van Klink retired his Mazda. Buist now amazingly 6th overall. And Dave Strong fighting back. He was 6th fastest on this stage, a much more competitive time, and closing on Van Tuinen in 7th. So after 5 stages, Hayden Padden leads Richard Mason by 1 minute 55 seconds. Hunt 3rd, West now withdrawn from 4th position. Buist leads the Historics and is the first 2-wheel drive car. Josh Marsden in 11th and Phil Campbell in 12th, the first of the front-wheel drive cars. Service is in the historic quarter of Oamaru. Despite his lead, there is still plenty of work to do on Hayden Padden's car.
Not going too bad. Like, the roads are so slippery. Like, obviously there's a lot of gravel there for everybody, but we're just sliding around. And okay, we're still not quite there with the car. It's basically a new car, and there's still a few things to sort out. But you know, the times are okay, but certainly a lot of room for improvement yet.
Well, you know, I mean, it's a very hot day, not the sort of day you want to be changing tyres on the side of the road, is it?
Well, I hadn't really thought about that. It was definitely a lot harder work having to drive the car with a wheel potentially missing off the left rear, but oh well, it made it exciting.
You've crawled back a pace, got back past Ben, about 2 minutes now the gap to Hayden.
Yeah, it's quite a big gap to Hayden, you know, pulling in 2 minutes on someone that's pretty quick is a hard thing to do. I think the best thing for us at the moment is to try and work on the handling of the car. It's not quite how I want it. So we'll work on that over the rest of the day. Hopefully we can come out firing tomorrow. If not, we can be a bit closer on the pace.
Ben Hunt has come through 5 stages unscathed and pleased with his 3rd place.
We must be going all right, and yeah, there's grouse roads out there. It's a bit different to get used to some of these high speeds, you know. The Fiesta used to do 165 and now we're going down straight at 200k. So it's a bit horrifying at times, but it's awesome, great fun.
Coming up after the break, Richard Mason goes off. And we get wild on the streets of Dunedin.
Two more gravel stages, starting with Razorback. At 14 k's long, it's a new forestry stage with a bit of a climb in the middle. And then it's back to Silver Peaks. We started it as stage 1 this morning, but this afternoon we're going back the opposite direction, back through the forest. It'll be interesting to see what the road's looking like now after all those cars on it.
So 3 stages left to run, and the historic class has been a Ford benefit so far. Dean Buist has totally dominated the class and would finish the day 6th outright. Jeff Judd had a slower start in the morning, but catching up through the day, but his battle was for 2nd with Australian Stuart Reid. Reid would finish 3rd and 14th outright at the end of the day. He's competing in New Zealand to give himself a fresh challenge after winning the class in Australia. Gary Cliff from Christchurch in 4th in his Datsun. Deborah Kibble 5th in her Mitsubishi. Hamish Anderson leading the open 2-wheel drive category. In the FIA R2 class, it was a day-long battle between Josh Marsden and Phil Campbell. The cars so close, but Marsden got a break on the final forest stage to take the day by 18 seconds. Dave Holder hung on to 3rd in his older Fiesta, just 20 seconds back, but good effort. Chris Long making a welcome return to the class in 4th, but off the pace set by the top 3. Back with the rally leaders, and Hayden Padden faultless through stage 6 and about to extend his lead. Richard Mason had closed the gap but hit another rock on the stage. The result? Another puncture, sending him off the road and losing 40 seconds in the stage. Hunt still 3rd and closing to within 10 seconds of Mason. So after day 1, Padden with nearly 3 minutes lead from Mason. Mason fought clear of Hunt to remain 2nd, but a great start for Hunt, Summerfield and Van Tuinen. Outstanding 6th for Buist and 7th for rookie Gardner. Marsden claims the R2 lead, and Judd in 12th is 2nd historic over Stu Reid and Gary Cliff.
Well, Hayden, the afternoon really just got better and better, didn't it?
Yeah, it's starting to improve. We're making some small changes with the car as we go along and still learning a lot about it. And obviously that last stage here where it was a repeat of this morning stage on the sweep stuff was much nicer and much more enjoyable. So, you know, it's all heading in the right direction.
All things taken into consideration, we've had a very good day. We're 2nd. We've had 2 punctures today, which have been quite time consuming. And, you know, we're still in a good position, so we're not complaining.
It's been an awesome day and slowly starting to get used to the car. It's been handling awesome. Yeah, the Winger Subaru, it's definitely quite a bit different than the Fiesta, but we're looking forward to doing tomorrow's stages. The first ones are pretty fast, and then we've got the famous Curry Bush and Waipori Gorge to finish.
So the day ends with a blowout around the streets before the cars are locked away awaiting day 2. It's just after 6:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, as the drivers enter Park Ferme where the cars have been locked away overnight. There'll be a 10-minute service in Dunedin before the cars again head north out of the city.
More of the same from yesterday. You know, the speed wasn't so bad yesterday. We're going to work on a few things with the car setup-wise and try and learn some things for the future. But other than that, you know, things were at a comfortable pace yesterday, so more of that.
Faster stages today, really.
Yeah, and that suits me better. I've always enjoyed the faster stuff, and the car probably works a little bit better on that too. So really looking forward to it, especially Curry Bush, one of my favourite stages, and it'd be rude if we didn't try and go for a new record there.
For Richard Mason, day 2 is a chance to make improvements to the car.
We're going to obviously go as quick as possible. We've got some changed suspension, so we're going to really see how it goes. We love Ramrock, and I really like pushing on it. So I don't know, like it's a bit of an unknown. We'll change the suspension. We'll see what happens.
In the historic class, after replacing the differential, Marcus van Klink was back for day 2.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the best day really. The diff let go on stage into stage 3 sort of thing, so that was the end of us really. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but it seems to be the weak part of the car. I don't know why, it was a brand new diff, so I'll put another one in for today, and here's hoping.
Dean Buist looking to take another win today over his rival Jeff Judd in their RS 1800 Fords. But dramas for Stuart Reid as the team tried to fix an electrical fault.
Yeah, we've had a few little dramas with the old girl. Some were just trying to get everything sorted. We had a gearbox issue yesterday. We had to just pull the gearbox out last night. Of course, having come to the Otago before, we've had all night to fix things. And then it was the sudden realisation that, oh my OMG, we only had an hour. So the boys have got quite a lot to do this morning. We also, the alternator's not working, and we changed 2 of them yesterday, so we're just trying to get to the bottom of that. So I better get on with it, or we won't be able to make it.
Sunday morning starts with Special Stage 9 Ramrock. This is a great stage that's really difficult, and there's a lot of people that are really scared of it. It's got a real difficult piece at the start and lots of twisty corners all the way through it.
Again, perfect weather for day 2. Hayden Paddon first on the road, so this time it's he who does the sweeping. And when we look out the back of the car, it's clear to see the loose gravel that's being spread by the first car on the road. Paddon completes the stage in 15 minutes 47.1 and smashes 30 seconds off the old record and goes on to win the next stage. That record was held by Richard Mason in 2009, and this year Mason is faster, 16 minutes 07, but still 20 seconds slower than Paddon. The gap is 30 seconds at the end of stage 10. Chris West is back on the stages after repairing the car, but his front differential is a road spec, not rally spec, so he will struggle on day 2. Third fastest on stage 9, but the gap is out to 56 seconds as the cars head to the first service at Middlemarch.
Short 6 left minus and short 4 right plus.
Ben Hunt in the less powerful Group N car is at a disadvantage over the fast morning stages. 4th on Ramrock, about 50 seconds slower than Paddon. Then on stage 10, Moonlight, 4th again, but just 18 seconds down on the leader. A stronger start to day 2 for Matt Summerfield in his older Impreza. 5th place, but 21 seconds down on Ben Hunt. Reece Gardner just 10 seconds further back in his Evo 7. It's a good drive from the rookie as this car is very close to standard. It was the same for Aussie driver Matt Van Tuinen. In fact, just 12 seconds separating these 3 drivers. Dave Strong lost his power steering on Ramrock. He lost 3 minutes on that stage and a further minute on the next as he manhandled the car through the stages. And Brian Green was 6th fastest on Moonlight, 6 minutes and 8 seconds. As he goes through the strange but beautiful landscape.
7 right, 180.
Dave Thexton was back having fixed the gearbox, but now the car was overheating and he was destined for another early day. David Holder was the fastest Fiesta over stage 9 by 0.9 seconds. Phil Campbell came back on stage 10 to lead the class, while Josh Marsden was fighting back after a spin on the first stage cost him 30 seconds. But the fastest 2-wheel drive was actually Jeff Judd. The historic car had the advantage that they have a higher top speed on these roads than most of the modern cars. Buist lost time at the first stage, so would spend the morning fighting back. Also on the fight back was Marcus van Klink, who would end these stages just 2 seconds down on Judd. A big effort ahead though for Stuart Reid, who was late out of the service and had picked up a 2-minute 10-second penalty. So the cars head to the tourist town of Middlemarch, the starting point of the Otago Rail Trail. In the Day 2 standings, it's Paddon in front by 30 seconds to Mason. West will struggle to do better than third today, ahead of Hunt, Summerfield and Gardner. Coming up, Emma Gilmore finally debuts her new car. It's been a marathon effort for the Gilmore Suzuki team to get this new car on the road. But Emma Gilmore did manage to complete a couple of stages at the front of the rally in this exciting new car.
Yeah, brilliant to be able to actually get out there this morning on the stages and drive her for the first time on gravel. The boys just put in so much effort over the last few weeks trying to get here for Otago, so it was really good to be able to get out there. So different to the Group N car. The Group N car, I mean, it's a production car that you make to go rallying, so everything is almost, like with the accelerated pedal, you're just 100% throttle. On the brake, it's just 100% brake, so it's just fully committed all the time. And then this is just so much power and sort of manoeuvrability. It's a lot more finesse required, so it feels quite different. Well, I mean, it's been really great being able to get out and do some actual stages today, so we've learned a lot about the car already. So there's a few things that we just need to fine-tune and really we'll just hopefully be able to get out and get some more miles. This year will be about learning and getting the best out of the car, but every event we do, I'm sure we'll just keep learning about the car.
Starting with Hartfield, 19 k's long, it's a real fast stage and it could be dusty. Stage 12 is Longdale. It's a bit shorter, 12 k's long. It's got a tricky gateway in the middle that everyone will be watching out for.
On stage 11, Hayden Paddon taking a wide line through the corners as he sweeps the gravel off the road. But despite that, he breaks the record by 26 seconds in what is turning out to be a dominant run on day 2. On stage 12, he claims another record, and then on the second run through the Moonlight stage, he breaks the record again by 6.3 seconds. So looks like Richard Mason and Chris West will be left to pick up the battle for the minor placings today. Mason 23 seconds slower on stage 11, and here on stage 12, he looks to be losing more time. 6 minutes 48.3, that's 21 seconds down on Paddon. West is losing time coming out of the tight corners, but it's not as bad as it could have been. He was 8 seconds slower than Mason on stage 11, and here on stage 12,
Right and 6 left minus.
6 minutes 47. That's 1.3 seconds faster than Mason, so some consolation. On stage 13, Ben Hunt continued in 4th place. This is an excellent result for the young driver, and he just hasn't put a foot wrong for the entire event. A moment's lost concentration sees Matt Summerfield into a ditch on stage 12, but he recovers to be 5th. In 6th, it's Matt Van Tuinen. Reece Gardner saw his good run end when he lost just 22 seconds on stage 13, and that dropped him from 7th to 9th. But that saw Brian Green move up to 7th on the stage standings. Jeff Judd continued to lead the Historics, and first two-wheel drive, just 12 seconds behind Green. So as they head back to Middlemarch, Hayden Paddon with a huge 1 minute 23 second lead. Mason safe in 2nd and West in 3rd. Hunt, Summerfield and Van Tuinen make up the top 6. Judd leading the two-wheel drive and Historics from Buist. Campbell leads the R2 cars. But at service, Hayden Paddon was already thinking about stage 15, Curry Bush.
It's what I'm looking forward to, so we're bolting on some wide tyres. They're not going to work for the other 2 stages. I'm just worrying about one stage in the middle, so we'll probably take it easy to the gorge and then have a real big push to Curry Bush.
It's just really fast and flowing and nice crease over brows and good spectator areas. So really looking forward to doing that and probably just keep it quite tidy through there. The Fiesta used to go quite well through there, but we'll be carrying a bit more pace this year.
It's very much like Finland. You've got a lot of blind crease. The car's getting light. You're in the air sometimes, and you're in 4th and 5th gear for most of the stage. So it's very enjoyable. There's not a lot of room for error, so you've got to make sure you've got the line spot on.
Coming up, it's the greatest stage in Otago, maybe New Zealand. Curry Bush on the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship.
Stage 15 is Curry Bush. Now this stage, you either love it or you hate it. I love it. It's got lots of crests, lots of jumps, lots of turns, and it is really fast.
After the 12k Waipuri Gorge, the rally arrives at Curry Bush, the stage that crosses the top of the Otago coastal hills before finishing at Brighton. Hayden Patton absolutely determined to break the record here, using all the road and showering the spectators in dust.
Hug 7 right plus of a crest into 6 left minus opens. 50 flat 6 right minus opens of a crest.
But at the stage end, there is disappointment.
35 right.
Got no power.
Yeah. You missed it by 2, nearly 3 seconds.
Or Hayden, the record not to beat.
Unfortunately, no. We have put a hole in one of the turbo hoses in the last stage, so we're down about 70-80 horsepower. So we tried, but you know, we're basically a group interim.
So Richard Mason also really trying hard here. You can see why these drivers just love this road.
Yeah, the record remains this year, which is good to see, you know. Even though we've got a bit more grunt, the road was not as swept this year, so, I don't know, we're fairly happy still.
And just look at the effort that Chris West is putting in across the top of the hill.
And 4 right plus. 60. Right and 4 left minus.
Yeah, it's really hard work and that tight stuff as you've seen with the times, but something like that, mate, just doesn't matter what you're driving, you certainly appreciate it.
Matt Summerfield would post 4th fastest time, and with a stage to go, he was closing in on Ben Hunt in 4th. Not surprising that Hunt was a little conservative through this stage, just 5th fastest and 33 seconds off the pace.
Stage 16, Warri Flat, the home of rallying in Dunedin. Run only a couple of k's out of Dunedin, over a couple of fords, up the hill, all the way to the lookout point over top of Dunedin. And the bonus this year is it's also the power stage.
The day would finish with a run through Whare Flat. Marcus van Klink posted 2 great times in the final 2 stages to take the Day 2 historic win. Dean Buist also moved up on these stages to take the battle to Judd. But Judd came back at him on Whare Flat on the final stage to hold on to second by just 9.6 seconds. A 4th for Stu Reid and 5th for Deborah Kibble. Gary Cliff another minute back in 6th. Miles McElwain took home the open 2-wheel drive honours, but rookie Hamish Anderson withdrew at the end of Curry Bush. Phil Campbell took the R2 honours for Day 2. David Holder was just pipped for second after a great day-long battle with Josh Marsden. The gap in the end, 0.9 seconds. So to Class 1 cars, and old age pensioners Hugh Owen and Carl Ravage will be happy with 15th place, a stronger result than on Day 1.
6 left minus.
In the top 10, and Brian Green
60.
finished 8th.
5 left minus in junction.
Rhys Gardner takes the rookie win and 7th overall on his first championship rally. Matt Van Tuinen showed the value of his Trans-Tasman journey, 6th overall, just 34 seconds down on Summerfield. Matt Summerfield showing good pace in his aging car to score 5th on Day 2. But Ben Hunt was the drive of the rally, 4th on Day 2 and 3rd over the 2 days. A perfect start to his championship and a sign that he really is a talented driver. After Day 1 disappointment, Chris West followed up with a 3rd on Day 2.
To 4 right minus.
But he'll need better luck and reliability if he is to challenge for the title this year.
Well, Chris, 3rd for Day 2, not a bad recovery from yesterday.
Hey, mate, we'll take it, you know, considering what we've had for the weekend. It's a good result, really.
So, 2nd again for Richard Mason, although closer on the stage, just 5.6 seconds behind. And taking the long view, with 5 rounds to go, this is a great result.
Well, Richard, Hayden got you by 5.5 in that stage.
Yeah, it's a good bit of road. I could see he was really trying quite hard in there, so, good on him.
Happy with the result this weekend?
Yeah, pretty happy with the result. We had a couple of punctures yesterday, which really took us out of the running. We've had a bit of a test session since then, really, just working on the car and getting it quicker for the future.
But Hayden Paddon proving that he is a talent to be contended with. World champion in production cars, he's proven the pace is still there after a frustrating year in 2012.
K left, long 7 right, tight and short. Flip, that'll do. 4 out plus.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Quite a
Bad
good
weekend.
Yeah, it was.
Well, not a bad start to the championship, Hayden.
Yeah, it's a good way to get back into things, and quite happy. Like, it's been a tough last 12 months for us, and it's good just to get back in the winner's circle. There's nothing like winning and nothing like being able to enjoy driving a rally car so much. So a few problems this weekend, but all in all, perfect weekend, and huge testament to the team and the guys who managed to rebuild this car.
So the day 2 results, Paddon from Mason and West, Ben Hunt an excellent 4th, and a great battle in the R2 class with Phil Campbell taking the honours. It's a traditional rally finish at the historic Dunedin Railway Station for Paddon, Mason and Hunt. So just confirming the overall point standing of the 2013 New Zealand Rally Championship, Hayden Paddon in 1st, Richard Mason 2nd, Ben Hunt 3rd and Matt Summerfield in a career best 4th. So the drivers pop the champagne while we look forward to Rally Whangarei, to be held May 18th and 19th. Round 2 of the Brian Green Property Group New Zealand Rally Championship in association with Auto Finance Direct, Gull Force Pro and BNT.